According to the National Institute of Mental Health, OCD, short for Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, is a common disease that causes the patient to have uncontrollable thoughts or behavior that he or she urges to repeat. The general public has a 2% likelihood to develop the disease with two categories of symptoms, obsession and compulsion. Some examples of obsessive compulsions are excessive cleaning, demanding precise order, and aggressive counting. Although still uncertain, scientists suspect that the development of the disorder might be caused by changes in response to the brain neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine. Genetic and environmental factors can equally contribute to the development of OCD. Those who have immediate relatives with the disorder or experience childhood trauma might be 20% more likely to develop the disorder than the general population.
Based on SMPedia, there are three SMPs linked to OCD. The SMPs are RS25532, RS4570625, and RS45659646. Given the three SMPs, there can be approximately 3 DNA variations. The two genes correlated to the three SMPs are the SLC6A4 gene and the TPH2 gene. The first gene has relation to the first SMP, and the second gene has relation to the other two. The SMPedia states that SLC6A4 gene encodes the serotonin transporter, a membrane protein that takes up serotonin and presynaptic neurons. The TPH2 gene encodes a member of the protein that catalyzes serotonin. The serotonin transporter, otherwise known as SERT, is expressed in T cells, and the protein encoded by the TPH2 gene is expressed in the peripheral cells, primarily in the enterochromaffin cells. Likewise, the variations in the three SMPs in both the SLC6A4 and the TPH2 gene can affect the level of serotonin. Serotonin, which is an important hormone and a neurotransmitter, has a role in cognition, learning, mood, memory, and many other physiological processes. Given its role, it is understood that serotonin has a role in various other mental conditions, including OCD.
Why should a person in this scenario even bother with taking a genetic test? After all, the causes and mechanisms of obsessive compulsive disorder are among the least understood out of all mental illnesses. We researched several studies that analyzed potential SNPs linked to OCD. Through my partner's research on SNPedia, we identified two genes that correspond to three SNPs. Those genes were the SLC6A4 gene and the TPH2 gene. The SNPedia states the SLC6A4 gene encodes serotonin transporter, a membrane protein that takes up serotonin and presynaptic neurons. The TPH2 gene is responsible for encoding a member of a protein that catalyzes serotonin. In a study done by the medical professionals led by Johns Hopkins scientists, identified a significant association in OCD patients near a gene called protein tyrosine phosphokinase, or the PTPRD gene. The gene in animals is already proved to be positively involved in memory and learning, which are traits influenced by OCD in humans. Also, research shows several cases of ADHD have been associated with the PTPRD gene, and OCD and ADHD have very similar symptoms. Given serotonin has a role involving cognition, learning, mood, memory, and many other physiological processes, it makes sense that the variations of TPH2 and SLC6A4 genes potentially impact the risk of developing OCD. As I stated before, OCD is one of the least understood mental disorders out there, but this research has some common denominators, and I do not think a test will hurt.
Although it's clear that OCD has a genetic basis, there's no clear evidence showing the circumstance that will guarantee the development of the disorder. For example, research shows OCD is associated with low-activity outlet of the enzyme catechol or methyltransferase, particularly in male populations. However, another research indicates the association between COMT and OCD was found in female instead of males. Given the limited state of knowledge for the manifestation of OCD and conflicting research from association studies, genetic testing can only provide one of many uncertain possibilities. Besides inheritance, the environment also plays a role in developing OCD, such as increased level of stress, traumatic brain injury, and possible parenting style. But that being said, many variations that impact OCD may still be unknown.
OCD results might also cause mental and financial issues such as psychological stress and unnecessary anxieties. Reports also show that people who are diagnosed with OCD have a higher unemployment, specifically 16% higher than the general population. In conclusion, the effectiveness of the genetic testing of OCD still undergoes tremendous debate in the medical field.